Party people. Okay, it can be super tempting to want to do private lending in your personal name, but just don't do it. Now, what I mean by personal name is me, Ashley. I can be giving a loan to a company or someone, and when I draft the contracts, I put that the lender's name is Ashley, last name. That is lending in your personal name. That means that the lender is an individual rather than an entity. And that is something that is super risky. Okay, so let's talk about why you should not do that. Now, the first reason is because putting yourself, as an individual, as the lender, basically exposes all of your personal assets to liability. Now, let's imagine that you give out a loan to someone, let's say it's $10,000, and maybe it's a company or whatever. You give out this $10,000 loan and you have a contract that has your name on it, and for whatever reason, I don't know what happened, something with the loan goes wrong, or, the borrower is upset about something and they decide to sue you based on the contract. So when they bring this lawsuit, it's going to be brought in your personal name because you personally are the lender. Now, let's say that you have a bad lawyer and unfortunately you lose the lawsuit. Okay, now here's where it gets interesting. So because you lost the lawsuit and your loan was in your personal name, that judgment can be recovered from all your personal stuff, like literally everything that you personally own. So that could mean the home you live in, your car. It could mean a business you have interest in. It could mean your retirement account, your 401k, your savings, everything, right? And that's because all of those assets are in your name and you decided to lend in your name. There's no barrier between you and your operation of your lending business. That's the issue. That's what we want to avoid. Especially if you own something or have some sort of assets. Most people have some sort of assets, and I mean, you can decide what's an asset to you, but even a 401k or a retirement account, those are assets, right? And those are things that we would not want to be touched if something happens, which in this case would be you getting sued. So that's the first reason why you don't want to lend in your personal name. The second reason is honestly, it's kind of like having a target on your back. Like, if you are lending in your personal name, I mean, it's so much easier to just sue a person and see everything they own than to sue a company. If your name is on the loan and you also have your name on all the other things and, transactions that you are involved in, all the other businesses, you might have your name on a trust that's not confidential. Like, if you just have your name splayed out everywhere, an attorney for the other party can search and see everything that is associated with you and see, like, is this lawsuit worth filing? Is it not? And the way that this comes up is, you might have loaned or you might have given a loan on something related to real estate, and maybe someone was injured and they decided to bring everybody related into the lawsuit. Now, I'm not saying that you're at fault or it has anything to do with you really, but that's just how people operate in this country. They basically throw everybody in the bucket in hopes to recover from somebody. And so if you actually have your personal name on there, it kind of makes you a target. In all your stuff that is exposed is also a target. So it's less appealing to sue a company, especially when you don't know what that company got going on, you don't know what their resources are, than to sue an individual. And also, individuals tend to be more financially vulnerable than a company, for instance. Third reason that you don't want to lend in your personal name is from a tax perspective. Now, I've been having a very complicated relationship with the IRS lately and taxes, and let's just say it is a situationship that I prefer not to be in, but at this point, we're so entangled that I just can't shake them. So from a tax perspective, if you're lending from your personal name, you are not able to take advantage of tax benefits associated with lending from an entity. Now, the government incentivizes business ownership And one way they do that is by allowing businesses to deduct their expenses from their revenue before they're taxed. Now, as individuals, we don't get that benefit for the most part. But if you lend from an LLC, you may have certain things that you can write off associated with your lending business. So that can be maybe software that you use, it can be the cost of sending money, so wire fees, or if you have to use cashier's checks or whatever you use for your lending, those things can be deducted because they're ordinary and necessary to your lending business. You may be able to deduct bookkeeping fees, anything associated with operating your lending business. There's tax benefits associated with that if you are actually lending from an entity such as an LLC or a corporation, or however you want to set it up. But the main point here is lending from your personal name is just all bad. It can expose you to liability where you previously would not be exposed. If you, for instance, had like an LLC, which is a limited liability company, it's called that for a reason. It can make you a very easy target, and it can unfortunately prevent you from taking advantage of the amazing tax benefits associated with operating a business.